Welcome to the MFR Coaches Podcast, where we talk about how you can create a six-figure MFR practice. I'm your host, Heather Hommel. Not only have I been practicing MFR for 11 years, I'm also a life and business coach, especially for MFR therapists. My goal is for you to understand how to get fully booked, how to talk to your clients, and how to make sure they understand what's possible for them with MFR treatment. I'm here to help you stop under-earning, overworking, and burning out. I'll lend support so you can create the MFR practice you've always wanted. Learn how you can do it too, even if you live in a tiny town, and even if you're just starting out, and even if you've ran your practice for years. Let's go. Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the MFR Coaches Podcast. I'm your host, as usual, Heather Hommel, the MFR Coach, and I help MFR therapists to create fully booked businesses. And today I am joined by a fellow MFR therapist from our neighbors to the north in Montreal, Canada, Gabrielle Provost. She is an MFR therapist and also an author, and she's here to talk about her experience as an MFR therapist and as an author of her brand new book and program. So, Gabrielle, welcome to the program. Please tell us the name of your myofascial release business, and we'll go from there.
Okay, hi, Heather. I'm Gabrielle. I'm from Montreal. My business is called L'autre voie MFR. So that means we could translate that to the other way myofascial release or the other path myofascial release. As you can guess, I'm in the French-speaking part of Canada, so most of my clients speak French, but I do also have a few English-speaking clients as well.
I love that. Well, I appreciate that you're willing to speak to me in English because I do not know French and it would just be weird for me.
Yeah.
But I love this. I'm really excited to speak with you now. We were just discussing before we started recording that we met a few years ago and you had taken one of my trainings. You were getting ready to raise your rate. And I think I had a raise your rate bootcamp training at the time. Do you want to just tell people, like, how did you find me in the first place and what made you want to take that course?
Yeah, well, I think I've heard of you when you first started your MFR coach offers. And I had just moved from a smaller town in the Eastern Townships to Montreal, which is a big city, the third biggest city in Canada, I think. So my practice was kind of starting again. And I wanted to take this opportunity to raise my rates and to evaluate where I could put my price. And yeah, we talked a bit on one-on-one, and I remember taking this raising your rates bootcamp. And from there, I raised my rates much more than I thought I would, which was a very good idea. And from then, I didn't have any more issues raising my rates when I felt like I needed to. And it's just not something that I think about anymore. So I guess that did the job for me.
Yeah, good. It's kind of fun for me to check in and hear people's experiences, like, especially if I didn't work with you in a group or work with you a long time, just to see what some of the smaller things I put out there have done for people. So I appreciate you sharing, and it's just fun for me to hear the outcome of taking that.
Yeah, sure. No, I think your podcast raises a lot of important questions when we are doing this work, and we don't have personally, I don't have many other MFR colleagues around me.
Yeah.
So it's a great space to have these discussions. And, I was actually feeling like I was part of the conversation, even if I was just listening to your podcast every week,
Good.
A lot of food for thought, definitely.
I like that. I appreciate hearing that. And sometimes when I put these podcasts out, I'm like, does anybody even listen to these? Or am I just literally talking to myself? So it's great to know you're listening.
I'm sure they do. Yeah.
I love that. Okay, well, let's get into what we're really here to talk about, which is you are now an author. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You have a brand new published book, but the book is more than just a book. Do you want to talk about, tell us what it is? Tell us all about it.
Exactly. So it's not just a book. What it is, it's an illustrated guide. So it's a book to help you in your self-treatment, right? So the book comes with 2 myofascial release therapy balls that I had made specifically for myofascial release. So the book is self-treatment with the ball, right? So in MFR, there's a lot of ways to self-treat, and I wanted to have this kit of the book and the balls to help clients develop a practice with MFR self-treating, especially with the ball, as a first step in their self-treatment practice, but also to allow maybe more experienced clients to go deeper in their practice.
Yeah, very good. So how did you come up with how you were going to put this together? Did you do all the illustrating? How did the book come together physically?
It took many years for the book to come together. I knew that it was going to be very visual. So not just instructions on a page, right? That you could open any page and know exactly what this exercise is about, right? Read a little bit, but mostly see how you place the ball, what positions you can get into, some variations depending on the complexity of what I'm proposing and stuff like that. But first, I had to write the book. The illustrations, they came at the very end, when all the book was written. Somebody like my good friend, Christine Grant, who's an MFR therapist in Ontario, she went through all the writing to make sure that the English was good, because
that's
English
really
is not
difficult too. So you wrote it all in English.
I wrote it all in English, yeah.
Yeah.
Which wasn't that difficult because it's the language that I associate with MFR.
Okay.
Sometimes I actually find that it's more difficult to do these translations to keep the essence of the message, you know what I mean? So Christine was there to help me with the English, and eventually I was able to find an illustrator. But in the years before getting the actual illustrations, I used pictures on my phone of my wife or of a friend doing the thing. So at the end of it, an illustrator just drew what I was giving him,
Yeah. That's so interesting. So what do you think kept you going while this was a years long process and not like, how did you not give up during that process? Because that seems like it was probably long and arduous and you probably didn't always know it was going to work out.
Yeah, definitely. Well, a big part of the work was done during COVID. So it was something that I had in mind, that I've had in mind for a long time. But during COVID, I really had the time to really put it together. So the way the book is laid out, you can search by a body part and actually get there. And there's different propositions of how you can treat that body part, right? When I wrote them and put the pictures together, I was already using that for my own clients. So I wanted somebody to treat their psoas at home. I would give them my sheet with the pictures with somebody in the ball doing the psoas exercises as I had already written it, but for my book.
Yeah.
So a lot of people were testing these. I had a lot of feedback from people on these, like very positive feedback. So that inspired me to really bring that project outside of my own practice and into the world.
Very cool. I think it's awesome to hear kind of the steps of what it takes to get a book out into the world and how long a process can take. And then also kudos to you for not giving up and just like continuing to go, even though it is such a long process, especially when you've got to get it all out there, then get it edited, then add the pictures, have everything tested, make sure the formatting works, make sure all of it is good. How do people buy the book now? Like, how are you marketing it?
So basically, the easiest way to get the book is to go on my website, which is called feelandheal.com.
Okay.
And people can have the book shipped to their house, if they live in the United States or in Canada.
Okay.
For now. So I had to set up that shipping logistics.
Is that what all the boxes are behind you? Is that like
yes,
shipping room?
Exactly. Yeah, so this is what it looks like when you're starting a business from home. And my office is definitely crammed with book boxes and balls boxes and shipping boxes. And
yeah, that's exciting and fun though. And I have kind of the same setup for all of the t-shirts that I send out to my clients. I have like stacks of boxes and bins of t-shirts, and there's like a whole production center in here.
Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it. For me, this is the fun part. where I can actually, hey, I'm sending this into the world. Every time
Yeah.
I pack a box and I ship it, I'm like, nice, one more
Hmm.
for somebody who needs that.
Yeah, I think when you write a book, at least for me, when I wrote my books, it's like you're birthing a baby. Like you're putting your baby out into the world. Like, here you go. And it's
Yes.
something, every time you get an order for it, it feels really exciting. And even now when I can see that people have ordered from me, I get very excited even years in advance.
Yeah. Yeah, completely. And it is definitely a baby that I've been gestating for almost 8 years.
Yeah.
And it's funny because when I finished the writing of the book, I was actually pregnant and I was finishing it up, doing the last little tweaks on it. And the day that I exported my PDF and I was like, this is done. I'm not going to touch that anymore. We can go to like printing and stuff. I did that one night. It was almost midnight. Then I went to bed. And the next morning, I had given birth to my son. So it was actually my first baby. And then a few hours later, I had my second baby. And I think that's just awesome and a good memories too.
Yeah, that's so magical. Gives me
Yeah.
goosebumps. That's so fun. Okay. What are some of your goals with this book? How many copies do you imagine selling? What is kind of like a crazy goal you
I think my goal is mostly I want to help people that are starting their MFR journey to do it, to empower them in their self treatment, to help them do that with awareness, to discover how they can actually be their own therapist in a way. But if we're talking about my vision is also to get it outside of the MFR community as a way to make people discover what myofascial release is,
have?
what fascia is, how it can actually help them. So if somebody has no information at all, no connection to myofascial release, they can get this book and learn a lot about what fascia is and how to safely start their self treatment at home. I definitely have in mind when I'm thinking about who can need this book, who can get this book, I definitely have in mind where I was, let's say 15 years ago when I was living in chronic pain and when I didn't know myofascial release, I had no resources, I had no help, nothing to relieve my pain. And that was a very difficult place to be in.
Yeah. Let's talk about that for a minute. What is your origin story for how you even found myofasciales? Tell us about that chronic pain that you were in.
Well, I started MFR as a patient, right? So when I was 18 years old, I got hit by a car and I was riding my bike here in Montreal, got hit by a car, and I ended up having years of trauma and pain associated with that accident. The pain was so intense in my daily life that nothing I could do could bring me relief. And I did a lot of things back then. I was actually the perfect patient, because I was eating super well, doing like Tai Chi, swimming. I was receiving modalities like massage therapy or physical therapy every week. I was doing everything that you're supposed to do, but my pain just kept getting worse until I was finally diagnosed with fibromyalgia. And fibromyalgia is it's just a word, right, to describe your set of symptoms.
Right.
But it's also when they say we haven't found anything else that is wrong with you, so we're giving you this label. And the doctors that diagnosed me were telling me, well, this is it. There's nothing you can do about that. You won't be able to reverse it. And you just have to learn to live with that. So that was like, I was maybe in the middle of my 20s then, maybe 25 or something. After 7 years of trying everything, somebody told me, well, this is going to be your life. But this is a moment where I started to look furthermore and actually discovered myofascial release. There was no one in Quebec doing that time, probably because we're a French speaking province. It doesn't get to us that much, the influence of the rest of Canada or the US. There's a lot of influences from France and those kind of therapies there. But I knew that there was somebody in Vermont, which is close to Montreal, that was practicing myofascial release. So I started seeing him. That's Darren Laskovich, who's in
Oh, yeah, I know Darren.
Yeah, so he's in Burlington, which was like a 2 hours drive from me. A little bit more when there was like a snowstorm or time at the border or things like that. But and starting to see him is when I really started to feel what a release feels like and starting to feel relief from my constant pain.
So when did you decide, okay, I'm getting relief from this. Now I want to be an MFR therapist? Where was the pivot there?
Well, I had to be a little bit better than that to think about being an MFR therapist, but it kind of arrived soon, like maybe in the next year or something, because I was receiving treatment with Darren. I had progressed, but then Darren was like, well, I'm going to leave for 3 months for a special travel that he had. And I was a little bit shocked when he left. But him leaving made me decide to do the intensive program in therapy on the rocks at Sedona.
Great. I've done that there.
Yeah. Well, it was an amazing experience.
Yeah.
I booked 2 weeks, ended up doing 3, and that completely changed my life. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that.
And when I came home, they gave you a ball, they give you other tools to self-treat, and they tell you it's important to self-treat. And back then, when this started to work, I became like a sponge where I would just do everything that they tell me to do, right? Because I really want to get better. And I had my goal in mind that I would be pain-free and live a normal life. So I came back home and I started my self-treatment, and I would spend probably hours each day self-treating, either with the ball or something else or doing unwinding. Because all this time that I had in my day, because my pain was so strong that I would spend most of my day in bed, right? And I had these terrible migraines. But now, instead of spending hours by myself suffering, I actually could do something about it. So I was doing that, and eventually it worked. I did another intensive, but it did reverse. Eventually my body started healing, and I had an amazing 100% recovery from that. And it did feel like I had a second chance at life.
That's pretty
And of course, and of course I wanted to share that with people that I love that were in pain, with my family, with friends. Yeah.
What was your career prior to becoming an MFR therapist?
I was an artist, actually. I was working in the film industry. So I was a filmmaker. At that time, I was doing my master degree, Master of Fine Arts in film production.
Oh, interesting.
But then, as soon as I finished that, I just switched careers.
Yeah.
And decided to become an MFR therapist.
I love it. So what all did that involve? I mean, obviously going to seminars, but did you have to get special licensure? How does Canada license? Did you get a massage degree? What did you do?
I did the massage therapy, yeah. In Quebec, it's only 1 year, even less, I think. As a massage student, I started doing my first MFR seminars.
Awesome. That's so great. So how quickly after you got licensed to be a massage therapist did you start your MFR business?
Oh, right away. Yeah, I think my first client, I was actually still a student, but she was referred to me because she didn't have any help anywhere else or that worked for her.
That's awesome.
It was building from there.
What is your favorite MFR seminar?
Oh my God. My favorite? Well, I want to say rebounding
Okay. Why?
because you can just get crazy wild in that class. So I'd say that advanced unwinding, maybe. Those are my favorite class. It's the kind of class that at the end of the class, I feel a huge transformation. Like I'm not the person that I was 3 days ago.
Yeah. Yeah, those can be kind of a wild party ride.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Quantum Leap too. Have you taken that?
No, not
Oh,
yet.
you should. It is like it's a
Yeah.
similar vibe to like rebounding and advanced unwinding. It's just like, yeah, it's got it all.
Yeah. Wow.
I love that.
But healing seminar was my first seminar that I took, and I repeated it a few times, and I really like that one too.
Yeah, that's a great seminar. All of them are really great. They're all worth
Yeah.
going to multiple times. Okay, so you had this accident when you're 18. You were living in chronic pain. You're diagnosed with fibromyalgia. You found an MFR therapist in Vermont. You're commuting 2 hours there and back getting treatment. He goes on vacation. You go down and you get an intensive at Therapy on the Rocks. Do that a couple of
Yeah.
times. You become an MFR therapist. What then led you to write this book? Do you think it was like that artist in you that was like, we've got this other project, or what? When did that occur to you to then write the book?
I think it was even before I became an MFR therapist that I started to think about that when I was spending all those hours with the ball, right?
Mhm.
Because I would try a lot of different things with it. And I realized that it's not just you put the ball there and you wait, right?
Mhm.
Well, you could do that. But if you want to really feel your fascia release, there's a whole other aspect to it, which is awareness, right? And bringing your energy back into your body and learning to let go as well. So that's what I wanted to share, like how to get there. And I was thinking of ways to bring people there.
Yeah,
So yeah, hopefully it communicates that through the book, right?
I like that. And I like that idea of it's not about put the ball here and wait. I mean, people could definitely just do that step and get great results, right? But that going
Yes.
beyond just doing the motions and like doing it with intention and purpose and that getting to awareness, which I think John says this a lot. Like he talks about awareness all the time and it's very subtle, like
Yes.
but the awareness is really key. I talk about that a lot in my coaching program. It's like a lot of the stuff we talk about is just to get you aware of how you're thinking about yourself, about your clients, about your business. And when you aren't aware of what is just running on in there, you're going to make different decisions. You're going to feel differently in your business. And the same thing is true for your body. If you're not aware
Yeah.
that you're clenching your jaw all the time, you're not going to understand that that's creating, massive crushing headache pain, or it could even be causing neck pain or whatever the case may be. But I do think anything that can get you to a deeper awareness or awareness at all, 1 degree of awareness more than you had when you woke up this morning, could be life changing for people.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
definitely.
great.
Yeah. And one of the reasons that I wanted to finish and offer the book was that when somebody comes and see me in my practice, of course I want to help them get there,
Yeah.
with their awareness. But it's like you lack time often, or I find myself repeating things. And I've had clients that are regulars and that are doing their self-treatment and that are successful with their self-treatment, but then they started working with the book and they're like, oh, that brings me another perspective to it. And
Yeah.
I'm using it all the time because it also gets me out of my patterns and what is familiar, and which is important too, when we do myofascial release.
Yeah. Very good. Would you say like the majority of your clients have purchased your book, or like who are the top buyers? Is it other MFR therapists? Is it your clients? Is it just
Most of my clients speak French, as was discussed. So a lot of
okay?
them are like, I'm going to wait for the French version,
Okay.
which is coming soon.
Okay.
But honestly, I haven't advertised the book yet. So I told the few clients that I see right now, I told them some bought it, some friends bought it. I only launched it a couple of weeks ago when I did the post on MFR Insight. So most of my sales came through that post and are
Yeah.
still coming from that.
Yeah. Very exciting.
So right now, I don't really need to go fast with it because I prefer a slow, steady progression because I'm
Sure.
figuring out, right?
Yeah.
So I'm figuring out shipping and customs and if somebody wants a return and things like that. So right now it's like that. But
Yeah.
what I'm offering also is for therapists to offer that book, well, the kit with the book and the balls in their practice. If they want to do that, they can actually get a wholesale price
Great.
and have the book shipped to them like tens
In
and more.
bulk.
Yeah, in bulk.
Great.
So that's a part of my sales as well, is the people that do that.
Good. Very smart. And we'll put the information to that. I'll have you send me all that and we'll put it in the show notes so people have like specific directions of how to get it wholesale right from the show notes from listening to this episode. So anyone listening, just refer to the show notes and you'll have all those details so you can easily order this book and the whole kit with the balls in bulk if you want to be able to like resell this to your clients, which is probably a great thing to have on hand.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, well, before we wrap up the show, is there anything else you want people to know about this special project, about you, about MFR? Like, what do you want people to take away?
Well, I guess MFR, it's a practice, right? So whether you're a therapist or a client, as you do it, you start to get an understanding of it. But to do that, we actually have to make space in our life for the practice, right? So when John says, only 5 minutes a day can help you, that really resonates with me because it's true. Now I'm doing fine in the sense where I don't have any pains and I feel great in my body and I do sports and I work and all the things that I couldn't do before. So sometimes I forget to get on my yoga mat with my ball or my foam roller or just unwinding. And weeks go by because I'm not as committed as I was when I was like, I want to get rid of my pain.
Right.
But what the MFR and the self treatment practice had brought me, and what I keep going back to, is that it's not just for pain relief. It's also how we can connect to ourselves, connect to our body, and live our life
Yeah.
from the inside out.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
by being centered and by being in channel 3, it actually can allow us to experience life fully. And I guess that's the main message of this book through that self treatment practice that I'm trying to inspire people to keep up with their MFR practice, with their self treatment. Yeah.
Yeah. So the website to find the book is feelandhealmfr.com.
It's just feelandheal.com.
Okay. Feelandheal.com.
Yeah, that's a website that I created just for the book, but
Okay.
also to raise awareness about fascia and John F. Barnes' myofascial release. And it's separate from my own practice. It's just for that offer I made it myself, that website too, but it's really designed like intuitively. I wanted it to be easy for people to find what they want on the site, but also if they want to share articles with their friends and families, that's going to be a good place to find some too.
Okay, great. Well, I thank you so much for birthing this book into the world. I think anytime MFR therapists can amplify this work and amplify what's possible for patients that are in pain to let them know that there is hope and there is a way to heal and there is a way to get better, I think is amazing. So I'm so happy to have you here and to share this book that you've put into the world. And thanks for being a fellow MFR therapist out doing the work.
Well, thank you for doing the work too. And
Yeah.
it was a nice conversation with you.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for listening. Please refer to the show notes for links and all of the information so you too can purchase this book and be part of the movement of making MFR mainstream. We'll see you all next week on another episode. Bye for now. Thanks for listening to the MFR Coaches Podcast. If you're ready to grow your myofascial release practice, make sure to sign up for my next free training. These live webinars are designed to help you take real steps towards building a fully booked, profitable business. You can save your seat and find the latest dates at themfrcoach.com/webinar. And if you're looking for more support, the Foundations program is now open year-round. Inside, you'll get coaching, tools, and community to help you get fully booked and stay that way without burning out. One last thing before you go. My brand new book, Your MFR Practice Starts Here, is now available. It's a must-read for any MFR therapist who wants to build a business that actually works. You can grab your copy on Amazon and get your companion guide by going to themfrcoach.com/book. Start implementing right away. I'll see you in the next episode.